Looks like we are live. Hopefully the air conditioner is not making too much noise, but it is giving enough cold that I expect I'll be able to work out here through the summer, which is a major plus. Sorry about the angle on the camera. I hope it's a better view in general. Lighting should improve once the sun finishes setting. I brought out the Lego castle. That was kind of part of what was having me run late. And so the goal is, I have a bunch of crap over there that I need to get out of the way so I can start cutting pieces of wood to make takadais. And I made sure to bring out the dimensions. I need inch and a quarter square by inch and a quarter square wood, one of them 37.5 inches, two of them 30 and 3/4 inches, two at 27 inches. That was the cross piece back, the outer rails, the inner rails. Then I need 3 at 24 pieces. Those are the spacers in between the right and left side. I'm not counting the rail with the Tory gate. I need 6 at 21.5 inches. Those are the 4 uprights and the 2 bottom feet to it. And 2 at 5.5 inches, which connect the back end of the 2 rails together. So I got a nice little spreadsheet where I've got the dimensions because it's too easy to forget them if I'm not careful. And I don't know what else there is. So I'm going to probably go ahead and I'll set up some background music, and then I'll probably mute the camera, but I'll be able to listen. I'm not really going to be able to hear much. Hey, Young Forever, nice to see you on. I just realized nobody else is going to be talking to me, but I'll be able to hear the music to know that I've got a good connection. What I'm doing is I am trying to get the shop cleaned up so I can start making takadais to sell, since I've just about got my LLC finished being set up. And I should have a product or two to sell. And I've got at least 3 takadais I've committed to make, one for my wife, one to sell, and I think I need at least one other one. I'll have to check where that one went. So this is my shop, and ask me Dirty Shop String because my shop is dirty. I need to get it cleaned up, but I have a hard time cleaning, and you wonderful people here kind of force me to where I actually clean rather than just kind of stand here like watching the computer, reading something, which is not very productive. And I did get my ADD testing done Monday, but it's another 3 weeks or so till I get the results on that, and hopefully that will let me be able to focus on things a little better and like do things without having to have a little bit of visual supervision. But in the meantime, I'm going to do the best I can. I hope that it has not been a bad day. Oh, sorry, I didn't bring this up. Hello to Young Forever. And Rhineman YYC, I hear a lot of people refer to you in their chats. And it's nice to actually have you here. I think you've been on before, but I'm not sure about that. As for the router, there's an interesting story in that I'm going to tell real quick. So, I have the next size up Porter cable router, the big one with like a giant 2-handed base, and it's like a 2 1/4 or 2 3/4 horsepower motor. It's like the biggest one they sell as a portable router. Well, apparently there was a recall somewhere along the way because since it's an aluminum base with only anodized handles and it's an aluminum frame router, they occasionally would have electricity passing to ground through the user, which is not a good thing. Now I normally have it on my big metal router table. It's way back over there behind the 3D printer, or actually under the 3D printer. So when I found out that there was a recall on it, I figured, okay, I should probably replace it. Now admittedly it is on the underside of the table, and there's a much more attractive path to ground than me when I'm using it, but the table is mostly metal, so I figured, hey, good thing to get a replacement. So I get a hold of Porter Cable, tell them I've got this one here, here's the serial number, I would like to get a replacement one for that. So they say they're going to send me a replacement one. And then somewhere along the way they asked me, which router do I want? And I let them know the one I've got, and they say, well, we can't do that, is this one okay? And it's like the next model down, it's like 1 3/4 horsepower, and it's really nice. It's, I mean, it looks like a nice setup. And I go, okay, this one? And they never actually sent me the replacement base, so it's back on the big router table. But I now have a smaller router table, and that I bought, and they sent me that nice router, the thumbnail, with the whole set. It's got like 2 different bases and a bunch of accessories, and it comes in a nice big hard case that it was sitting on in there, and they never charged me. So I will probably eventually buy the upgraded base on its own, but if that's how they wanted to handle my warranty claim, or not warranty, recall claim, I'm not going to argue with it. So anyway, and I am sorry to hear that it was merging into bad. Sometimes hectic is good, but apparently not this time. So, alright. Okay, so I am going to move things out of the way that are going to prevent me from putting, so yeah, that table saw over there, further back away, out of the way, so I can get to the miter saw. And like I said, I will try and catch up with chat every couple of minutes, so if anybody has any questions, and if anybody has a complaint about the background music, please let me know, and I will do my best to change it. And just a quick check over. Looks like we got 2 people watching over on Rumble, and so far it's looking pretty good. With StreamYard, we're over 10. And I'm just babbling at this point. Wrist is still feeling so-so, and shortly after I bruised my ribs, I noticed it was really uncomfortable for me to stand up from a crouch. I'm getting better on that. I'm going up and down stairs as much as I can, and I can tell my endurance and strength is building back up there. So I just need to keep going with that. So, alrighty, let's. Whoops. It doesn't help if I minimize all the menus. I usually do night driving. Let's try feeding the ducks for a little while. Okay, this is the example of the types of scrap I get from my job. This, I think, is... I think this is high-density polyethylene. It machines really well. It's very dense. It might be ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene, which is a little bit different and a little less slippery, but doesn't glue even more, and you kind of have to like weld it or machine it. But these are going to be like useful projects. I've made my camera boom for the takadai out of this, so that's kind of what I was dealing with that. I just need to find a spot to put these temporarily while I position stuff around, because it's kind of like a 3D jigsaw that you have to solve while you're in the middle of it. Can't quite just pull everything out and then put it back together the right way. At least not without like maybe a day or two and good weather and no work for that day. Actually, until I get the started with something that's a little noisier, I guess I'll leave this on because it's easier to chat with you folks. So this, it's kind of yellowish. This is actually nylon. It's nice and hard, and it machines really well, though it's a little hard on tools. But you have a nice rigid material that's pretty good to use when you're done. And in case anybody is worried, I do clear this with my work before taking anything home. And what I take home, if I didn't take home, would go straight in the dumpster. We used to recycle when I first started working there about 3 years ago, but we can't get anybody to take our recycling anymore, which is kind of frustrating. Hey MLS, good to see you on. Welcome, welcome, Dave. There will be woodworking, probably not tonight. I'm going to be on for probably about an hour, hour and a half. And then I'll jump over and probably catch some of the Karen Reed catch-up. I caught some of the earlier stuff. And we might have a couple of new people on here from Legal Vices. So if anybody's from there, welcome, welcome. I did see that my numbers went up a little bit. I'm about 11 away from 1,500 subs right now. What was I going to say now? Oh, Dave, if you notice, I brought the Lego castle out here. I figure it'd be a nice shop accessory because I really don't have room for it in the house at the moment. You just have to be careful not to knock it over or anything like that. If I do, I'll actually start gluing it together at that point. I figure I'll probably leave it alone until something does come apart, and then I'll just break it down and rebuild it up again. Yep, thank you very much. So I am currently moving stuff out of the way so I can move the table saw back against the door, have room to move through and get to the miter saw. And then once I get the miter saw, I can start cutting the balusters that I bought to make pieces of the takadai. And let's see, I need to go to Karen Reed checkup stream. Where are you going to watch it? I like Ian Runkle's coverage because he's got a lot of nice snark. Though, admittedly, most of the lawyers I know have some pretty good snark. But apparently, the Karen Reed trial, the defense, is doing very good cross-examination. And as I said on another stream, you got to appreciate a defense attorney who can make just about everybody who's watching it want to shout, "We know you're lying," about the witness. So I blame you for this. I'm reorganizing my 3D printing and computer desk while I watch this. Hey, that's a plus. I need to move my filament 3D printer into the house. Now that I have a cover for it, and the cats aren't going to be able to accidentally interfere with it. That way I can do a lot more printing. I can't do it on any of the floors that are wood, but I can put it in the basement because on the main floor or upstairs it makes a lot of noise, which makes my roommate uncomfortable. Yeah, Drunko watched him last night. I'll be there too. Yep. Ian's a pretty good commenter. I really like his work. So, all right. Some more. The way this fills, I'm pretty sure this is UHMW. Rotate these so that the rounded end is not the one that's up, because it'll tend to go. When you get the big sheets and you have the ends that are cut off, they tend to be rounded a little bit, so you can't necessarily put stuff on top of it. These are definitely high density polyethylene. They feel right. It's a wonderful material to work with. And I will be using the router soon, but by the time I'm ready for it, I should have a spot for that. And this is a CNC router as opposed to a tabletop router. These are also high density. I plan on making some wax molds out of these for a friend of mine. He has he makes chainmail, and his shears use a wax or beeswax lubrication system where you have like a rod of wax that you put in. Apparently, I don't know if the company went out of business, but it's a really pain in the butt for them to try and get them. And they've been making replacement ones using like a paper mold. So I figured like a nice plastic mold that has a nice slippery plastic would work really well for that. More pieces. These are ABS plastic. It's relatively light, machines really easily. I made one of my booms out of it. Catch up our chat real quick here. Alright, so I'm caught up. And here's a larger piece for it. I found once you get used to making your own tools, you can find material out of that. Oh, I should have membership set up. Let me see. Let me double check that. Let's see. Go to. Let's see. Earn. I think it's in Earn. Because I do have members. Memberships. Okay. Let me take a look real quick here. Let's see, I currently have 9 members at the Maradai level, which is the less expensive level, and I have 2 at the Takadai level, so I have a total of 11 memberships. Are you not able to see them? I don't know why. I do try and post high-res pics of the braids when after the streams for the members, but I need to start doing that again. I've been a little bit out of sorts. Let me double check here. Let's see. Let me bring up let me use Firefox because I'm not logged into YouTube on there. Great, it's going to update. Alright, let me switch back to StreamYard real quick. Okay, I can understand that. I don't know exactly how the phone how well it works on phones, but I know the phone app is a bit more difficult. I know I've got I have YouTube Premium, and I do that mainly so that I can support other streamers with my watch time, because it gives a percentage of that to them. And also, not having the ads is really kind of nice. But again, I understand people who do not want to do that just to get rid of the ads. if I'm going to support the other people or the other YouTubers I like to watch, it's I have to deal with it. Okay, so youtube.com/@torrent3. Let's see. Sorry. The computer I've got out here is a salvage one. I salvaged like 6-7 years ago. It runs Windows 10, but it probably, I should get a very big update for it. Alright, so, let's see. Alright, so I'm not signed in at all on here. Let's see, join. Okay, oh, you have to sign in. So it looks like I do have the join option available on my YouTube channel, so hopefully that won't be an issue. Hey, Rainman YYC, welcome, welcome. It's nice to have you as a member. No problem. I appreciate the fact you're here at all. Thank you very much. I appreciate the fact everybody's here. It's really nice to have you wonderful people here, and I thank you for all the watches, and I hope that you enjoy the content I produce. Content meaning stuff I do to share, not the let's manufacture content in the content lines, because that sounds rather depressing. And I spend a lot of time making sure that I can avoid depression as much as I can for the non-chemical variety. Unfortunately, I don't seem to have an issue with the chemical depression issues. And this is an arbor press. And I probably should have not done that. And the handle for it. I use the arbor press to press the pins into the wood coma blocks, though I am planning on switching over to stainless steel dowel pins, mainly because, let's see, can you see it from here? And it's a little hidden by the drill press, but this is a belt grinder over here. Yeah, let me just move this out of the way. Alright, now you can see it. So this is a belt grinder. It's a 2 horsepower, variable speed, uses 2-inch wide by 72-inch long belts. And you can go down to like 36 grit belts, so they call it a belt grinder. The design is nice. It's got a flat platen here, but you can use different radius contact wheels. I can make some accessories for it. I just need to do the machining work for that. When I got originally when I was going to be grinding knives and swords, but that never really developed. And I sold off a lot of my blacksmithing equipment. But it's really useful for wood as well. The only thing is that making those dowel pins out of these things. This is 3/16 spruce. I think it's spruce. Nope, this one's poplar. These are 3/16 dowel rods. I have to set up a table router bit that's a radius bit. I have to round the, stick it through a block, spin it at the contact point to round the end. Then I have to cut it off on a bandsaw. Then I have to round the other end by hand on this machine here. And it kills my back. The steel dowel pins are a little more expensive, but I figure the savings in wear and tear on me is probably going to be worth it. I do not have a lathe. Actually, I did have a lathe. It's probably in a friend's barn somewhere that may or may not have gotten moved the last time they moved, and I didn't have a place to set it up. And it's probably rusted for all crap at this point, which I feel bad about. But I think if I do wind up getting another lathe, I'm going to get a CNC lathe, because that's the kind of knowledge base I have right now, and I'd be much more comfortable programming that rather than setting up a manual lathe and trying to do like complex shapes by hand. You can do simple stuff relatively easily with that for metal. And this is, we're talking a metal lathe. I do not have a wood lathe either. Um, I am probably at a skill level I could make reasonable use of a wood lathe, especially for making Maradai tops, but I don't really have a place to put it either. So one of the things I'm thinking of is in the not too distant future maybe getting a shed for the yard and moving like the lawnmower and some of the other stuff that doesn't necessarily need to be somebody actively with it to work on it, and make this more of a proper shop. But I'm going to have to do a lot more positive business to do that. Drill press plus wood rasp equals lathe. Yep. Also, my CNC router will let me do a lot of circular type cutting paths with the bit there. And I've been considering doing like bowls and stuff like that with a, I think it's called a Cove bit. Actually, I can show you what they look like right here. These are what I'm planning to use to make the Maradai tops with. I know I should put these in the proper spot, but I haven't gotten them there yet. Let's see. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, I can move it closer. Gotta be careful not to trip over all the various things. All right, so let's put it in front of the bottle so you can see it. But basically, it's kind of like a ball-end mill or ball-end bit, designed to work with more with a router than like a mill. But it should work fine with the CNC lathe, or not CNC lathe, CNC router. Apparently, when I talk too fast, I believe it's a stepper motor. Let me check. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's stepper motors. They're NEMA 17s, I believe. It's the open builds lead format. Give me a second here. I'll put a link in for the chat for that. Like I said, I'm sorry, my computer is a bit slow. I should be on a files connection. Alright, so let's see, go to parts store. And I do like the open builds concept because they give you plans and they'll see the parts to put it together. Alright, so machine kits. Alright. There we go, lead machine. Give it a second to load so I can get the URL. And I'll take a quick look and let you folks know what type of motor it is. Alright, I'm just going to click directly on the lead itself. Alright. Alright, let me just put this in here. Go. Go. Let's see what's in there. Yeah, it is stepper motors. It's got two Y-axis stepper motors, one X-axis stepper motor, and a Z-axis stepper motor. I have I think it's a 1.5 kilowatt spindle that uses ER. I think ER 16 collets. Anyway, these are the size of collets. I can go up to 10 millimeters or just above 3/8. And it is looking like either it's sunset or we're going to have a rainstorm. Can't really tell for sure from my angle. Oh, that reminds me. This was a fun little project. This is my collet holder. And the nice thing is I've got magnets so it doesn't fall out, but I can take out what I want and let it go back in, and it stays in. So, and I got magnets on the back, so I can mount it on the side of something if I want to. I know it's not very strong because that's thin metal. One thing you find out if you work with magnets a lot, if your metal is thin, you saturate it with the field and you don't have a whole lot of strength with it. It's supposed to rain up here in Michigan tonight, tomorrow. Actually, I could get a quick check. Check. 0% chance of rain right now, so yeah, it's just getting dark is all. It's about 8 o'clock here. Cool, thanks. I've designed control systems for custom CNC. I'll servo those. Servo is better. But money, yeah. I would like a much larger system. The CNC routers I use at work are an Anderson Exact, which is a 5-foot by 10-foot vacuum bed. And it is a table slinger on the Y-axis, X-axis, and Z is the gantry. We also have a Limtech Orion, which is basically the same parent company as the Anderson Exact. It's older though. It's a 4x8 bed. It's got an internal vacuum pump for the table, and that is the gantry moves on that. The in the X-axis, and the gantry moves X, and the motor moves along the gantry in Y, and the spindle comes down for Z. And we have another one which is an Android router, which is also another 4x8, but it's a much lower tech, a much older tech, and it's a pain in the butt to work with. But for simple stuff, it's not too bad. And that one is also a 4x8 bed. It also is a gantry that moves along the X-axis, and the Y-axis is also moves along it moves on the gantry. The whole gantry moves on rack and pinion system for both of those. The only annoying thing is that the Onsrud is it's an X-positive system. The other two systems are X-negative systems. So anyway, I don't mean to get too ranty on that, or detailed for those that aren't interested in it. And I need to keep cleaning, so thank you for that. Okay, magnets and screws for assembling stuff. I'll need this in the not too distant future. Something you can never have enough of in a woodworking shop: clamps. That's another thing I need to move my filament into the house, is so I can make adapters for my I think they're 4-inch dust collection. Yeah, 4-inch dust collection system that I got from Harbor Freight, so I can plug it into for the planer, the CNC router, the table routers, and the other stuff, so that I can have better dust collection here. Because I like the state my lungs are in. I don't want them to get any worse. And these are some screws that I'm not sure what are for, but I can sort those out. You can tell that part of my dust collection is also a shop vac. And when I was mounting the lights on the rafters, I got new LED lights for a lot of stuff. I got tired of the other ones. Got a nail puller. That should go back over here. plug adapters for my LED lights. Other one there. Multimeter. And let's see, let me unplug it. This over here is my Omega pyrometer reader. It's a digital readout that you can plug in a Type K thermocouple pyrometer to use with the kiln. And cardboard box. And I found out when I was putting together the magnets and the parts for the warping frames, the epoxy was hardening way too quick. So I went from a 5-minute to this is a 30-minute cure epoxy, so hopefully it'll work better. I have separate drawers for my epoxy. I have resiners on one side, hardeners on the other side, and I want to keep them separate, but I don't have that opened up yet, so I'm not going to put it in with one or the other. 99% isopropyl alcohol, which is great for cleaning off your contact bed for your 3D printer. If you're a woodworker and you want to be able to disassemble and reassemble your stuff, these things are great. These are threaded inserts. These are brass. They're designed for hardwood. And if you got a right tool, you can just screw them into your wood, and it will do a great job of having a nice metal threaded insert for that, so you can have your stuff not fall apart. Just do a quick check over here. Got one of the person watching over on Rumble. I notice I'm dropped down a bit on this stream. I figure that's probably due to the fact that some of the Karen Reed recaps are starting to pick up, which is entirely understandable. Go over here. Some of that's router table stuff. Gets oils off your hands too. Great for crocheting and stuff. I will have to remember that. I do occasionally use alcohol for cleaning. I've also been in other environments where we have solvents and stuff like that, which I try and keep as far away from my hands if at all possible, because that stuff can absorb through your skin and is kind of aggressive. When I was starting out in the quality lab at my previous job, we had an older gentleman who was probably one of the smartest people I've met in person, and he was talking about how when he was starting out, he had professors at college that would use these absolutely scary solvents to clean their hands, and it's like, oh, I've used them all my life, never had a problem, and they pass away at 50. Cardboard. And these are from the first version of the warping stand, where I would clamp it on and I'd run the threads through there. And do not want to lose these. These are my deburring blades for my deburring tool. feather board for the saw. Actually, no, this is a feather board for the router table. I was thinking, why do I have this? This will not fit with this. What came with the router table that I got. And these also go with the router table. Yeah, underneath the planer is the router table for there. This is the chamfering bit that I got that was absolutely horrible. The welding bits are definitely better. Air nozzle, drill. Alright. I'm going to be lazy here because I have lifting issues. Rather than trying to lift that the whole way, I'm just going to take off the clamps. Don't lose those bits. Set those up here. Lift the cord off the ground so you don't snag it or trip on it and have an accident. That's not fun. Table saw is light aluminum crap, which is one of the reasons why I'm planning on replacing it soon. And very cheap table base. My plan to replace that is to get one of the relatively expensive, like I said, I'm very out of shape. Get one of the relatively inexpensive DeWalt table saws that have the built-in rolling base where you set it up when you want to use it, and then when you're done with it, you kind of like fold it down, and it's got wheels where you can roll it out of the way. So that'll figure probably a pretty good idea. Yeah, rubbing alcohol works well for me. I also use chopsticks to eat snacks and stuff to keep my hands as clean as possible. I do like using chopsticks, but after a while my hands get tired, and it's probably just a practice thing. I should improve that with a little more work. Though the place I took my wife for her birthday dinner was really good. So we're probably likely to go there more often. Though admittedly, we got a tomahawk steak to split between the two of us, which was a little spendy, but not their top end. It was really nice. The per person price was in the nice restaurant category, not the super fancy, so it was a really nice dinner. We had fun together. And if you can't have fun together with your wife, why are you with her? If she can't have fun with you, why is she with you? Alright. Let's get this back there without tripping, falling, having an accident, straining anything. And yes, I'm trying to be careful not tripping over the dust collection hose, but I don't know if you can see it yet. Just past the pipes is the miter saw, and it's mostly clean now. I can get into it. There's more room through here. So if I can keep working on this clean area and expanding it, it'll be pretty helpful. This was some of my earlier attempts at making the braiding swords. Let's see. Alright, there we go. Let's get some light on it. Kind of hard to see, but I've engraved cherry blossoms with it. The only problem with this is that it's not exactly flat, so the engraving doesn't work too well. But now that I've got a planer, I'll be able to plane these out relatively easily, and then they'll be nice and flat for me doing the engraving, and then I can also actually do probably some of the roughing out as well, and use the belt grinder to finish it off on the edge. The takadai I'm going to make for my wife, it's a bit dented there. I got enough though that I can cut that off. This is the mahogany that is okay to use, not the one that's restricted. One's South American, the other's African. This is the one that's okay to have, and I'm making her takadai out of that. And I have some boxes out in the back, or not in the back. These are the balusters I bought. This is also the mahogany, and these will be cut to the lengths. I probably got to look over that chart and see the best way to cut these. See, it's about 8:30 now. Step here so it doesn't get dirty. Now I was talking about the warping frames. This is a partially assembled one, and I'm going to drill and put threaded inserts in here, and then the edge pieces will be screwed in, so it'll have like a layer here, then one across the top that'll have three of these, and that way you can do a bunch of different variety options. I'm also thinking of making like kind of a smaller version where maybe it's a rectangular thing with a hole through the post, and then this up on top for smaller setups, more portable. Should be careful not to put too many things like that. But I can get to the miter saw. I think I'm too tired to safely operate the equipment at this point in time. I'm working tomorrow for a 4-hour overtime shift. I have a little bit of constabling after that. So I will probably do another shop stream tomorrow. I'm going to do it relatively early. I should be done constabling by about 4 at the latest, home and change, and then what I can do is I can come out here and set up the set up to cut the pieces I need to with the miter saw, and I'll figure out the best way to cut these up. I can go online to the place I've ordered them from and make sure what sizes I got so I know how to lay them out, because I think, yeah, for maximal efficiency, for a takadai I ordered one that's 39 inches long, 7 that are 31 inches long, and 3 that are 48 inches long. In addition to the other stuff I read earlier, I also make the coma blocks out of that. Though I'm thinking of 3D printing them or machining them out of maybe plastic, so I have to think about that. But got a bunch of I have a bunch of different options I can consider. And thank you, Gwen. I appreciate that. Let's see. I don't think I mentioned it on Dave's Lego stream, but my wife actually was the one who proposed to me. So I am very, very happy that I accepted her proposal. So let's see, is there anything else that anybody needs before I head out? I know it's been a relatively short stream, but like I said, I'm kind of at a spot where I'm ready to do some stuff where I probably need more sleep before I do that. Yes, I have taken my wake-up medicine, but I'm at about the wear-off point. It lasts 8 hours at a stretch. I take the first dose at about 4:30 in the morning, I take the second dose at about 11:30 or 12, and it's been 8.5 hours since then, so it's pretty much worn off at this point. I've had fun talking to you. I've made a lot of progress, because like I said, if I come out here and I don't have somebody to keep me from just staring at the computer, I'll find I've been out here for a couple hours and done nothing. So I really appreciate that. I've made good progress, and if I keep building on that, like I said, I have that 4-hour shift Friday, and then after the consulate, I'm open through till the end of Sunday. I'm going to try and get at least one braiding stream in this weekend, and I will go ahead and try and get at least a decent amount done. Probably get some of the stuff for the takadai cleared up. Hey, Rideman YYC, you are the first person to super chat my channel since the day I got monetized. I had several people do that as the hey, I got monetized stream, but nobody's done it since then. I've gotten memberships, which has been very helpful. So if there's something, what is the one more thing? Rainman, I think it's, is it Rainman YYC or Rainman YYC? I've heard it both, and I think it's Rainman YYC. But yeah, congratulations. You are the first person to super chat me in 6 months. Yay! Let me go ahead and just do a quick check over here. It's not letting me like your super chat. That's annoying. That works. Alrighty. Okay, I'll give it another minute or so, and then I will wrap this up and head into the house so I can get a decent night's sleep so I can get up early. Rainman and the so I'm assuming either South Carolina or Supreme Court was the thing. So Rainman YYC. Okay. Thank you very much. It's good to have you on here. Hope that you find it useful, and I do intend to have more like CNC machining stuff as well, because I like doing stuff with my hands. I like making things, and I'm hoping that I will be able to do a lot more in the near future. I also want to help keep the Kumihimo art expanding and not contracting in practitioners, and to do that, people need the stuff that they can use to make it, and I can make those things. So that's kind of my philosophy on that. So, alrighty, I think that is it. I will go ahead and wrap it up, and like I said, I will probably have a stream somewhere maybe between 5 and 6 tomorrow. I'll run for a couple hours until the probably like Friday Night Frenzy or something like that starts up. So everybody have a good evening, and we'll see you again soon. And as always, stay safe and happy braiding.